Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Standley with Standley Handcrafted, and today I wanted to talk about the top 5 tips that I have for any new candle maker just getting into this hobby, or if you're looking to create a business around candles. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeff Standley. I'm a candle maker, and I also make videos about making candles, teaching people how to make candles, how to create a business with it, and showing people the kind of do's and don'ts and kind of the best things to do and not do in candle making. If you'd like to see any of the candles that I make myself, you can check them out on StanleyHandcrafted.com. And of course, please subscribe to the channel so that you can catch any future updates, things like oil reviews, candle making tutorials, and please hit the like button because it helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the videos posting to the top of the pages. But let's go ahead and just jump right into this one. It's the holiday season. It's definitely peak candle making season, and this is the time where a lot of new people get into making candles. A lot of people are getting kits for Christmas. A lot of people are looking to do candles because they are so big and popular during basically the fall and winter season. So I wanted to make this video, which is kind of the top tips that I give a lot of beginners. I have a lot of people message me either through the phone number, which is 253-303-7968. So sign up for that if you want to get text alerts, new vessels, new stock coming out. And of course, you can ask me questions through that. I also have my email address in the video description down below, so definitely reach out to me anytime. And if you're not, please jump over and get into the DIY Facebook group. It's over 70,000 people now, and it's a bunch of people talking about candles. So if I don't have the answer for you, there is somebody in the group that will definitely have the answer for you. But that's it. I just went through and kind of wrote down kind of the top 5 tips that I have for a lot of candle makers. Like I said, a lot of people get into this, they don't know where to start, and this will give you kind of a good jumping off point. And this is kind of the basics that I tell a lot of people when they first get into this one. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find your wax. And now a lot of people getting into this, they automatically go towards soy wax, which is a great wax, but a lot of people don't know that there are a bunch of different waxes out there. So not only is soy wax out there, but you've got coconut soy, you've got paraffin soy blends, you've got cocoa apricot wax. There are a dozen different waxes and more. So it can be really hard narrowing down your choice. And the reason I say find your wax is because you're going to want to do a lot of testing with that wax. So once you figure out your wax, once you figure out the wax that you're going to use, that's going to make a huge difference in what type of vessels you use. It's going to make a big difference in the type of wick that you use. So not all candle wicks work in every single wax. There's cotton wicks, there's wooden wicks. Sometimes the wooden wicks just don't really work well with certain waxes. So you definitely want to make sure that you pick your wax because it will help make future decisions on everything else that you purchase a lot easier. So if you're looking for wax the first time, soy, like I said, is a very good wax. It can be a little tricky. It's not the wax that I recommend for beginners just because it can be a little tricky. Getting the hot throw, and if you're new to the channel, hot throw is when you light the candle, it throws the scent while it's burning. So it's the hot throw of the scent. Soy can be a little tricky. So I definitely tell people to try different blends. Paraffins paraffins are usually a little bit easier to work with in the beginning. The wax that I recommend a lot of beginners is 6006, which is a blend of soy and paraffin. The reason people go to soy is because it's very long burning, it's kind of eco-friendly, and then of course the paraffin blended in there, paraffin is most of the time always going to give you a much stronger and a much better hot throw. So having the two blended together, you get kind of the best of both worlds. You've got part soy in there, so it gets a little bit longer burning, and you've got paraffin in there, so it throws a lot stronger. So 6006 is a very good one. The coconut soy from woodenwick.com is a great wax. I love that one a lot. And then of course soy 464 is probably one of the most popular soys out there. But like I said, if you do get into that one, it's a very easy wax to work with, but you could run into some issues, and you're going to be testing a lot of different wicks with that one, which of course goes into the very next tip, and that is getting a wick sampler kit. And basically what that means is a lot of different websites out there. So if you go to any of the candle making websites and Google candle making supplies or accessories, and you're going to pull up with a bunch of different ones. I'll have a bunch of links in the video description down below. What you're going to get with a wick sampler kit is a bunch of different wicks so that you can test different wicks in different sizes in different waxes. And again, since this video is for a lot of beginners, what that means is if you go out and you look for wicks, you can't just get any wick for any candle. You have to get the right size wick, and that's the thickness of the wick, because it's going to burn and it's going to create a bigger flame. flame. So if you get a wick that's a little bit too small, it's only gonna burn right down through the middle of the candle. It's not gonna heat or melt the wax clear to the edges. And if you get a wick that's too big, you can get a melt pool, which is the melted wax inside of the vessel, and it's gonna be too big. It's gonna burn through the candle too fast, and that's why a wick sampler kit is a great thing to get. So if you do work with a soy wax or a blend wax, you've got 4 or 5 different wicks in there so that you can try those different wicks with that wax. And it will definitely help you narrow down which wick looks the best and which wick throws the best when it comes to scent throw. The third tip I always tell people is find one vessel. You can see right here, I've got a ton of different vessels, and this is something I did in the beginning is I went out and I bought a bunch of different vessels. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I was doing. So I bought a bunch of different vessels, all kinds of stuff to choose from. And the problem with this one is not, like I said before, not every wick works with every single vessel. So I've got 3 different size vessels here. And if I use the same wick in every single one of these, it's gonna burn different in every single one. So it might be too big in this one, it's gonna be too small in this one. And of course, when you're a beginner, you have no idea what to do there and you don't know what the reasoning is for that. So I always tell people, find one vessel that you like and stick with it for the first little bit. Find, like if you were to use this one right here, go get this one, do a bunch of testing with waxes, with wicks, and once you nail this, you get the perfect candle, that's when you run out and you get a second vessel, and then you start doing more testing. And the reason I say to wait on that one is because it can be very frustrating when you're first making candles, finding the right wicks, finding the best melt pool, getting the best scent throw. And if you're bouncing from jar to jar to jar and you're getting different results with every single one, it's very frustrating in the beginning. So this is tip number 3, but it's probably one of the most important along with finding your wax. Pick one vessel and stick to it until you nail the candle and then move on. Tip number 4 is test, test, test. Now this is gonna be a big one. Like I was just saying with the vessels and the wicks and everything like that, once you feel like you've got everything down, not only are you gonna be doing testing yourself, but I would definitely recommend, which is kind of tip 4.5, give these out to friends and family. You want to make sure that these are burning well. You want to make sure that they throw well. And of course you want to do some power burning, which if you don't know, power burning is when you let a candle burn for like 6, 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, or you let a candle burn all the way down. Now these abusive burn tests are good to do because if you have a candle that gets way too hot after 3 hours, you have to blow that out. And a lot of people will let candles burn all day long. And if you've got a wick in this vessel that's burning for 17 hours, you could end up with an extremely hot vessel, a huge melt pool. Instead of having like 1/4 to 1/2 inch, like just over 1/4 inch of a melt pool, you could have like a 3-inch melt pool in there, which is gonna heat up the glass. It's gonna create a much bigger flame inside of this. It can be very dangerous. So of course, most candles you want to burn for 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 max, and blow them out. That way you get the longest life out of your candle. But a lot of people, like I said, they will get a candle and they're gonna burn it for 6 and 8 hours. So that's where you need to test as a candle maker. Get in there, do these abusive burn tests, let it go for 6, 8, 12 hours. Let it go all day long if you can, just to see how well it does. And a properly made candle will absolutely burn from the moment you light it all the way down to the end and have a perfect melt pool all the way down. Now, of course, even a perfect candle, it's gonna get extremely hot towards the end of it. You're gonna have a little bit bigger melt pool because it is burning for like 19 hours possibly, but you definitely wanna do this. And it's not gonna be the case for everything, but you definitely wanna do that just so that you know that when you send a candle out, it's getting to a customer's house and you know that they're not gonna run into issues if they accidentally leave it burning all day. And tip number 5, I would say if you're just getting into this, buy a candle kit. Going through, picking out your accessories, figuring out everything you wanna do, getting your wicks, getting your jars, getting your waxes, it can be very overwhelming, which is why I definitely say get a candle making kit. And there are a lot of good kits out there, Lone Star, Candle Science, and I'll have links to these in the video description down below, but these are a great way to get perfect waxes, perfect wicks. Everything is made specifically for that kit, so everything is gonna work right out of the box. So if you don't know if candle making is gonna be for you, this is definitely a good way to make sure that you actually like this hobby before you sink hundreds and possibly thousands into this. The other nice thing about the kits is they come with the basics that you're gonna need. They come with stirring utensils, some of them come with thermometers, and then of course they come with jars, lids, everything so that you can do your own testing. They come with oils, they come with mixing pitchers, which you're gonna use going forward. So definitely jump in there and do that. Along with those websites, I do sell a candle making kit. It has 4 different waxes, a bunch of different oils, jars, everything in there. So if you wanna test 4 different different waxes and not just one wax. I'll leave a link to that in the video description down below. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get out there. Like I said, a lot of new people are jumping into this time of year, so I wanted to put kind of the top 5 tips that I usually give beginners. And there's definitely a few more. If I can think of some, I'll put them in the comment section down below and pin that so that you do see those. And of course, if you have any questions on any of these tips or anything else that I didn't mention, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll try to go through and answer every single one of those, or create a part 2 of this one where I go through and add those questions and those tips to another video. And as always, you can follow me on any of the social media platforms. And along with the candle making kit, I do have a lot of how to make candle ebooks. And along with the candle making kit, I do have a lot of ebooks that teach you exactly how to make candles. They are PDF ebooks on my website, stanleyhandcrafted.com. They're full color step-by-step guides that tell you everything how to do, all the different temperatures, when to mix, how to mix, a bunch of different tips and tricks in there with cotton wicks, wooden wicks. So definitely jump over to the website, check those out, and pick up the ebook if you're looking for a little bit more step-by-step kind of written instructions on how to make candles. And of course, you can follow me on any of the social media platforms that I've listed down below: Facebook, Instagram, my website, the phone number, which is 253-303-7968 if you want to sign up for text alerts or in-stock vessel alerts. And of course, you can text me your questions that way as well. So I hope this video was helpful. If you had, like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe button. Please hit like because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. And again, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.